Okay, let's talk about a quiet revolution that's happening in logistics right now. It's this huge shift away from the old school way of doing things, where every department is its own little kingdom, to a new, totally interconnected approach. And this isn't just some minor adjustment, it's a complete game changer. So today, we're going to break down what this shift is all about and why it is so critical for any company that wants to win.
But first, let's kick things off with a question that might feel a little familiar. Have you ever seen this happen? One team is just absolutely crushing it, hitting all their goals, and yet somehow they're creating a total nightmare for the department next door. If you're nodding your head right now, you are definitely not alone. It's a classic symptom of a much deeper issue, and we're about to get to the bottom of it.
All right, so before we can really dive into the future, we have to get a handle on the present. And for a lot of companies, that present is built around one single, powerful idea, the silo. Let's take a good look at this traditional model and figure out why it's holding so many great businesses back.
Now, on the surface, it all seems to make perfect sense. You've got your expert teams, you've got your planning folks, your operations gurus, your commercial wizards. Each one is laser-focused on being the best they can be. They're all high-performing units, hitting their individual targets. But here's the dangerous illusion. While they're all excelling in their own lanes, they're often completely cut off from one another.
This really nails the core of the problem. Okay, so look, your planning team is obsessed with efficiency. They want full trucks, perfectly optimized routes. But what happens when the commercial team lands this amazing, profitable deal that, oh by the way, requires sending out a half-empty truck? All of a sudden, these two high-performing teams are pulling in opposite directions. Then you throw in operations, who are just trying to execute and keep things moving day to day, and finance, who's looking at every single line item, and you've got a recipe for constant conflict. See, everyone might be winning their own little battle, but is the company as a whole losing the war?
So what's the real price tag on this internal tug-of-war? This is where those cracks in the system really start to show, and the costs, we're talking real dollars, and operational headaches just start piling up. Let's dig into how trying to perfect the individual parts can actually break the entire machine. And let's be super clear, this isn't some abstract theory from a business textbook. This fragmentation creates this domino effect of real expensive problems that I'm sure you see plaguing organizations every single day.
And here they are, the all-too-familiar symptoms. That first one, the constant battle between planning and commercial, well, that directly causes the second one, a ton of network inefficiency and all those empty, money-burning miles, which in turn leads to number 3. Your best people are stuck in this mode of constant reactive firefighting instead of proactive planning. And what's the root of it all? That last point. There's just limited or even zero visibility across the teams. Nobody can see the big picture.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Let's just sit with that for a second, because it's a really powerful idea. All of that effort, all of that expertise that's poured into making each department a shining star can actually hurt the performance of the entire company. It's a paradox, and it's a massive sign that we need a fundamentally new way of thinking.
Okay, so if the old model is broken, what's the alternative? It's time to talk about a different way of seeing things, the systems thinking shift. And this isn't just another buzzword. It's a completely different lens through which to view your entire operation.
So what in the world is systems thinking? Well, it's about a simple but profound shift in perspective. Instead of seeing your company as a bunch of separate islands, you start to see it as one single living ecosystem. A change in one part of that system, say a new contract from sales or a new routing plan, sends ripples across everything else, all the way down to your bottom line.
This slide just captures that before and after perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way, the siloed focus, where everybody's just trying to optimize their own little corner of the world. But on the right, you see the system, a fully connected network. The focus shifts from my department's goals to our shared success. It really is the difference between staring at a single tree and actually seeing the entire forest.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually make it happen? Well, the answer lies in technology. The tools that are available today are what turn this from a cool idea into a practical, achievable strategy. Technology is the bridge that finally connects all those silos.
Here's the roadmap for building that connected system. It all starts with data. Step 1, you have to integrate all that information from your different teams into one place. Step 2, once your data is unified, you suddenly gain shared visibility, one single source of truth that everybody can see and trust. Step 3, now you can unleash the power of AI to analyze that data and help you make way smarter, more complex decisions. And then finally, step 4, you move from just reacting to what happened yesterday to actually predicting and optimizing your entire network for tomorrow.
But let's be really clear on this one point. Technology is not a magic wand. You can't just buy a new piece of software and expect all your problems to disappear. It's an incredibly powerful tool for sure, but it's only as good as the strategy and the people behind it. The goal isn't just to install new tech, it's to build a culture of collaboration, a culture of systems thinking, with technology as the engine that makes it all possible.
All right, let's talk about the big prize here, the strategic payoff. This is where we stop talking about small tweaks and start talking about fundamentally redesigning your entire system to unlock a level of performance that you probably never even thought was possible.
And this isn't some far-off futuristic dream. The leaders in the industry, the ones who are really winning, are already doing this. They've recognized that the old, siloed approach has a very hard ceiling on what you can achieve. They know the next massive competitive advantage will come from mastering the art of whole system optimization.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, it starts with a true, deep alignment between your planning and commercial teams. They're on the same page. This allows for a relentless focus on optimizing the entire network, not just one truck or one route. And that's all made possible by giving every single team the exact same data and the same view of the operation. It's all powered by making decisions based on solid data and insights, not just gut feelings.
And we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. For decades, the entire game has been about perfecting the individual pieces of the puzzle. But the future belongs to those who can see the whole picture. The next generation of logistics leaders won't be defined by how well their individual departments work, but by how brilliantly they design them to work together as one. Thanks for joining us on this journey from silos to systems.